CommonCents launched in beta, and the internet went wild. People were tired of being confused by financial jargon. They were tired of feeling judged. They were tired of thinking money was a secret club they weren't allowed in. Users emailed feedback like, "For the first time, I actually get how investing works. Nobody ever explained credit like this. This is the first budgeting tool I don't feel ashamed using." The subscriber count grew, 2,000, 8,000, 40,000 within weeks. Evan couldn't believe it. He logged into the equity portal and saw a figure he never imagined. His shares were worth something, not millions, but real money. Meanwhile, the lessons he helped shape also transformed his personal life. He automated debt payments, opened a Roth IRA, started investing $100 a month in index funds, began building a 6-month emergency fund. Tiny habits, but cumulative. For the first time since he was 20, Evan felt hopeful. Success attracts storms. On a sunny morning, Marcus called, sounding hollow. "We've hit a problem," he said. "A big one." A competitor, a giant corporate finance company, claimed CommonCents violated a patent on behavior-based financial modeling. They filed a lawsuit. Marcus said, "This is big money warfare. They're trying to bury us." Evan's stomach dropped. Are we in trouble? Potentially. Legal fees alone could sink us. Evan felt the panic rising. I finally start getting ahead and now, everything blows up. Marcus replied slowly, "Ev, we're not giving up, but we'll need to tighten everything. Possibly lay off some contractors. Possibly pause new features." Evan closed his eyes. The progress, the momentum, the feeling of finally being valuable, all suddenly fragile. He spent that week in dread. His debt was improving, but he wasn't out of the woods. And losing CommonCents would shatter more than his finances. It would shatter the version of himself he was finally proud of. One night, after a long walk, Evan sat at his kitchen table and opened his laptop. He drafted an email to Marcus. "Let's fight. Tell me what I can do." He sent it. Marcus called first thing the next morning. "You serious?" he asked. "Dead serious." Marcus exhaled. "Then we pivot." "Pivot how?" "We focus on the one thing the competitor can't steal, human connection." He explained the idea. A personalized financial coaching program staffed by real people helping everyday Americans, using the platform as a tool, not the end product. It was unscalable in a traditional tech sense, but brilliant. Evan loved it. "This solves the actual problem," he said. "People don't need another tool. They need a human who understands why money feels scary." "Exactly," Marcus said. "And I want you to be one of the coaches." Evan almost dropped the phone. "Me, I'm still learning." "Which is why you'll be great. People relate to someone who's been in the same trenches." He hesitated. "I'll try," Evan whispered. He didn't know it then, but this moment would change thousands of lives. Evan coached his first client, a single mom from Michigan who felt trapped in payday loan cycles. His second, a 50-year-old trucker in Texas preparing for retirement late in life. His third, a recent college graduate buried in student debt. The stories were raw, honest, emotional, and they all shared a theme. Nobody had ever taught them anything about money. Evan spent nights reading, researching, learning, but more importantly, he listened. And because he wasn't a millionaire or an expert or a Wall Street bro, people trusted him. They opened up. They cried. They admitted fears they never told their families. Evan realized something profound. Money is emotional before it's mathematical. Helping people wasn't just about calculating numbers. It was about giving them permission to believe they weren't broken. And slowly, one person at a time, the coaching program went viral. CommonCents didn't just survive the lawsuit, it grew. One morning, Marcus messaged him, "Investors want to meet you." Evan froze. "Why me?" he typed. "Because you're the heart of this thing." The pitch meeting was in Chicago. Inside a skyscraper Evan had only seen in movies. He wore his best shirt, which wasn't very good. But Marcus didn't seem worried. They presented the product, the pivot, the traction. But then one investor, a woman in her 50s with sharp eyes, leaned forward. "I want to hear from Evan," she said. "Tell me why this matters." Evan's throat tightened. "Honestly," he said, "because I'm the person this platform was created for. I didn't understand money. It scared me. I thought debt was normal and investing was for rich people. This platform didn't just teach me finance. It gave me my life back. And now I get to help people who feel exactly like I did." Silence. Then the investor smiled. "That," she said, "is the story people will follow." 2 days later, CommonCents received a $1.8 million funding deal. Evan wasn't dreaming. His equity was now worth more than his entire lifetime earnings. He sat on his couch and cried. Evan paid off his last credit card. He built a fully funded emergency fund. He invested consistently. He upgraded his apartment, not luxury, but peaceful, clean, his. He continued coaching, helping hundreds of people free themselves from fear. But his biggest transformation wasn't financial. It was identity. He wasn't average anymore. He wasn't drowning. He wasn't powerless. He was a person who mattered, a person who built something that helped others change their lives. The lawsuit eventually settled with no damages. The competitor, even with more money, couldn't compete with humanity. CommonCents grew from a startup into a movement, and Evan became its unexpected center. Years later, Evan returned to the same breakfast table where he once stared at crippling debt. But now, the table held something else. A letter from a client he helped 2 years earlier, who had gone from $60,000 in credit card and medical debt to financially stable with savings and investments. The letter ended with, "You changed my life. Thank you for believing I could be more." Evan leaned back and smiled. Not the smile of a man who became rich overnight, but the smile of someone who discovered something more valuable than wealth: purpose. In a country where financial stress breaks marriages, dreams, and mental health, Evan realized something. The new American success story isn't about being born wealthy. It's about learning the rules they never taught you, one step at a time, and helping someone else learn them too.